Hello and good afternoon. My name is Alex Salas, and thank you so much for joining us here for this virtual college exploration hosted by the Illinois Association for College of Admissions Counseling. So a few things about this webinar before we get started to turn it over to Roosevelt University. Just a few things. If you have questions for the presenter, you should have a Q&A section at the bottom of your Zoom link. Then you can submit questions to the presenter. That's the only way that they'll be communicating with you. As you can see, you will not be able to turn your camera or your microphone off. So any questions that you do have, please submit them through the Q&A. A couple of other things, you can sign up for more sessions just like these offered by different colleges at the IACAC website. And just a reminder that this meeting will be recorded and it will be available after this session through the IACAC.org website. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Jasmine and Roosevelt University.
Good afternoon. I'm just going to share my screen really quick. So hello, you all should be able to see my screen. My name is Kyler Hughes. I am representing for Roosevelt University on this afternoon. So without further ado, I will get started. So who are we? We are Roosevelt University. We are located in downtown Chicago. We do have two buildings. So we don't really have a traditional type of campus, but we are a 4-year accredited university. So let's get this show on the road. So our school was founded in 1945 based off the principles of social justice. So our school is very diverse and we pride ourselves on that. And we also make sure that we cater to every student that fits any population that attends our school. So we have a lot of extracurricular activities and student government and leadership opportunities for our students. And we just want to make sure that our diversity is at the forefront of everything that we do, even in our curriculum that we have for the year. Okay, so as I was saying, we are located downtown Chicago. We have a really tall glass building, and then we have a new center called the Goodman Center, which is where our athletics are housed, but I'll get to that at a later slide. And then next, connected to our really tall building is another older architecture structure that is really nice looking to me. I like historic buildings, but it's on Michigan Avenue, and then our actual building for the taller glass building, that entrance is on Wabash. So we do like to say Chicago is our campus because our campus is not traditional or like a traditional college campus. We do utilize our resources that we have in Chicago with our connections and with us being downtown, and we have access to the theaters downtown for our performance arts programs, right across the street from Millennium Park, the Art Institute, and then close to the lake. So wherever we have or wherever we can include our surroundings in our curriculum and instruction, we like to do so since we're in the middle of the city. So we do have 3 additional campuses. We have one in Peoria, one in Lake County, and one in Schaumburg. Our freshman students do have to take classes at our Chicago campus, but something that is new that will fit any student is that our freshman students can now take classes that are fully online. So right now with the pandemic, of course, we're operating remotely, but before the pandemic and hopefully soon after the pandemic, you will still have the option to have fully online classes. So you will not have to come in person for class. So that option, we do have that option for our students now, since we do require them to be or our freshman students, since we do require them to be at our Chicago campus. So with that being said, like I mentioned earlier, we are a diverse school. We have 45% of our students are students of color. We have more than 72 undergraduate programs and 48 graduate programs. And then 30% of our students are first generation students. So what this just means is that we do a lot of work in making sure that we have the resources that our students need to be successful in the post-secondary area and go on to live successful lives. So I'll also get into those benefits at a later slide, but I just wanted to mention that we do take pride in that again. So as far as our undergraduate courses, we do have over 70 areas of study. And we do have 6 different colleges. Well, it says 6, but really it'll go to 5. But I'm going to break it down. So we have the College of Arts and Sciences, which will house your liberal arts majors and your STEM majors like biology, history, English, and things like that. And then we have a School of Business where you would find your finance, marketing, international business, so on and so forth. We have a School of Education that will house your human development, secondary education, elementary education, educational leadership, things of that nature. We have a performance arts school, which has its own separate advising or admissions style. So we don't really get into that because they have their own recruitment cycle. But we do have performance arts where you can major in theater, song, and we just collaborated with Columbia College of Hollywood, so they're bringing more of their sound engineering type of majors to our campus as well. Then we do have a School of Pharmacy, which is now updated, which will include a School of Pharmacy and Health. So we just also merged with Robert Morris University. So they have brought over their nursing major, which is really huge for our school. So the nursing program is a 2-year nursing program that's really popular in the Chicago area. So we're really excited about that. So our pharmacy school is now our School of Pharmacy and Allied Health. And that will also include pharmacy, nursing, medical, multi-skill health technician, your health sciences majors and things of that nature. And so Robert Morris Experiential College, you will interact with those students should you enroll into Roosevelt University, but we don't have a separate sector for Robert Morris Experiential College because we're now one big university, but we did have to integrate them into our system. So we gave them their own college, but now we're operating as one university. So again, you may interact with some students who are technically a part of the Robert Morris Experiential College, but they also will share the same classes and majors that you all have the opportunity to become a part of. So why Roosevelt University? Very good question. So although we don't have the traditional college campus that some students might really be interested in, we do have a lot of other benefits and gems to our school that make us unique and that appeal to a lot of students who are interested in their post-secondary opportunities. So 2 big things that has really drawn me to the university is that there is an 11-to-1 student to staff ratio. So that means that for the most part, I won't say every single time you're in a class, it'll only be one professor and 11 students, but most classes and you'll be a part of, there will be 11 students sharing one professor, whereas in other college campuses, there can be a lot of students and only one professor down at the bottom, lecturing and talking, and you're trying to focus, and there's students over here, students over there. So at our university, we really like to cater to our students and their academic needs. So we have structured it so that we can cater to our students by having the 11-to-1 student to staff ratio. And also, even if your classes are not, or does have more than 11 students, it's not likely for your class to have more than 20 students. So about 53% of our classes have 20 students or less. So when you get to like your classes that are like more in your major, you might have a larger class, larger lecture, but for the most part, classes are 20 students or less, so you're able to get all the attention that you need from your professor. And also, let me move this over. And also, with that being said, with us focusing on our students' academic needs, we do have a Learning Commons, which is tutoring, where we have one-on-one tutoring for students that is free of charge. And then we also have honors programs for those students who are wanting to challenge themselves and push themselves a little further. We have over 50 student organizations. That includes organizations specific to your ethnicity, organizations specific to a different sport. Like, it's just a very wide range of type of organizations that we have. And students also have the opportunity to create their own organization if they see that there's not an organization that they would like to be a part of. So if you're interested in photography and there's no photography organization, you as a student have the free reign to create that organization should you want to do that. Also, we do have very good relationships with our with I can't talk. We do also have really good partnerships with different organizations and corporations in Chicago. So oftentimes our students are taking advantage of the internship opportunities that we offer them. Students do not have, or in specific majors, students do not have to complete an internship in order to graduate, but it is really good to take advantage of internship opportunities so that you can get the experience in your field hands-on before you even get there, which is also going to be good for boosting your resume. So we do have offices that are specific to catering to students' career development and professional mentorship needs. So we do have a residence hall. That one tall building that I was talking about at the beginning of my presentation, that glass building, you have class there, the dining hall is there, our offices are there, and there's also at the top floors housing for students. So most of our sports students or our students that are from other states, of course, live on campus, but about 73% of our students are commuting from home because they live within or within a nice distance from the university, even if it's on like the outside of Chicago. So we do have housing opportunity for students if you are interested in living on campus, which is a very beautiful building to live in, and it's over the lake. So if you're on the right side, you get to wake up to the sun rising every morning. So that's a really good perk of our residence hall that I, in particular, really like. So getting back at the Chicago land area being our campus, as I mentioned, we are across the street from Millennium Park, which is a good attraction for some people. We are down the street from the Symphony Center, which is where some of our faculty and staff will host shows throughout the year in our performance arts school. The Goodman Center, which is what I was talking about, that houses our sports teams, and our gyms is over there, and that's where our teams practice. And then the University Center. So the University Center is another student living space that is not owned by Roosevelt University, but a lot of students who attend Roosevelt University live in the University Center. So with that being said, we do have 25 athletic teams, which would be your basketball, baseball, softball, we have bowling, soccer, so on and so forth. We are in the NAIA. So other schools maybe, or the more familiar league is the NCAA, but we are in the NAIA. And within the NAIA, we're at like the D2 level. So just so that it makes sense, like I was saying, we're kind of like at the D2 level. We're just in a different league than the NCAA. So with that, I'm saying that to say our teams are really competitive, and you will get the collegiate sports playing experience that you will be looking for, that you might be looking for. Also, our performance arts school, now before the pandemic, they're putting on 200 plus shows per year. Now with this new life that we're living, of course, there are no shows that are being put on in person. I'm not sure if they're working on how to virtually pursue their performances, but as of right now, our performance arts school works really hard towards perfecting their craft and putting on a show for their peers and everyone to see. So if you are interested in performance arts, you'll be doing what you love, because shows take a lot of work. So if you're doing over 200 or close to, you'll be doing what you love all the time. So just to pull a little bit of our results. A lot of our students, when they graduate, they go on to work at, these are just a trickle of the corporations that we, or that employ our students, but the bigger ones, a lot of our students go on to working at Amazon, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Chicago Public Schools, Cisco, just to name a few. And then our graduate schools, our students are getting accepted to Boston University, Harvard University, the John Marshall Law School, Northwestern University, University of Illinois, and Roosevelt University. We have a very popular graduate school. So a lot of students, they just continue on their learning at our university, but a lot of students that are outside of Roosevelt University also come to take advantage of our graduate school opportunities. So if you are interested in applying, our application is free and you can access that through our website. So that's listed right here. Our freshman students, now we do ask that you, or we do trust that you will put down your correct GPA. So we do not require that you submit a transcript. However, of course, after you graduate, we are going to need your official and final transcript upon completing your high school journey. So we do ask that you self-report a unweighted GPA, again, an unweighted GPA on a 4.0 scale. And then the submission of your SAT and ACT scores are optional. You do not have to put your scores, but if you would like to boost your chances, if that's so be the case, you have the option to put your test score. You can also submit your letters of recommendation, your personal statements. You can submit all those items to. Now, you can mail it, but we are in the age of technology. We're emailing these days. So if it's easier for you to email, then the email address is also listed at the bottom of this screen. So you can submit those forms that way and they will attach it to your application. But other than that, you can self-report your GPA and we will accept you based off of the GPA that you put. So let me just back for a second. So I talked about applying, but I didn't talk about our requirements. So I'm going to stay on this page for just a second longer, just to talk about our requirements. So for most of our majors, all you need to be qualified for Roosevelt University is a 2.0 GPA. For our nursing program, you do have to have a 2.5 GPA, and you also have to submit your SAT or ACT scores for that. We are looking for an 1170 on your I'm sorry, not 1170. They just recently changed it, but I'm used to saying 1170. The nursing requirement is a 2.5 GPA and a 1200 on your SAT or a 23 on your ACT. We are asking that you also submit your, we're also asking that you submit your transcripts so that we can see how you're doing in your science and reading classes. So you would have to submit your unofficial transcripts for that. Whereas the other majors, you could just self-report your GPA. But for nursing, you should be submitting your transcripts, your personal statement, letters of recommendation. You should be submitting any any activities that you are participating in. You should also be submitting those to this email address at the bottom so that we can link that to your application so that you can be considered for the nursing program. But other than that, our psychology, our biology, our finance, our accounting, our English majors, all of the majors aside from performance arts and nursing, all you need is a 2.0 GPA, and to submitting your test scores is optional. So let's talk about the money. So we do offer a lot of scholarships opportunity for our students. We do have scholarships at the 2.0 GPA level. Most of our scholarships are merit-based, which would be based off of your academic performance. But like I said, we do have scholarships that are even at the 2.0 level. So if you're a student that has a 2.0, you still can qualify for scholarship dollars to attend our university. So At the 2.0 level, you can receive an $8,000 scholarship. At the 2.5 to 3.4, you can receive a $9,000 scholarship. And at the 3.5 and above GPA, you can get a $10,000 scholarship. Please disregard this number that I can't even pronounce. This isn't a real number. So please disregard that. But that slide should say $10,000. So at the 3.5 and above GPA range, you can receive a $10,000 scholarship to attend our university. Excuse me. We also have need-based grants. So at this point, you all may have began your FAFSA journey, which I recommend that you should have, but if you have the means to, obviously. But you should have started going on to FAFSA to apply for financial aid for college. So basically what we get from the FAFSA is the amount of money that the government is expecting you to be able to afford for school. So we meet you where you are. So we have aid money that can meet you at whatever amount that you need to be met in order to be able to afford your education. So our need-based grants do range from $900 to $9,900. So depending on your EFC, that will determine how much money we can give you. But that ranges from $900 to $9,000 or $9,900 again. So the lower your EFC is, which is the number that you get at the end of your FAFSA, the more money you'll be able to receive from our university. And we also have additional scholarships that you can find on our website. We have we accept the Phi Theta Kappa scholarship. We have the STAR scholarship, and then the Dreamer Grant, which will be for our undocumented students who are interested in pursuing their post-secondary desires. You can, of course, take out loans to go to school. We have work study at our university, and then you can also apply for grants. So we accept any outside scholarship that you may have applied for and received, and any grant money that you may have applied for and received. We accept all of that on top of the scholarship money that you could already get from our university. So if you'd like to contact us or request a virtual appointment or a virtual tour of the campus, you can email the address at the bottom, which will be admission@roosevelt.edu. So you will send them an email and they will direct you to the appropriate counselor who can help you out from that point on, which could be myself or any one of my wonderful colleagues. You can also go on our website to learn about any upcoming freshman events that we have, which we are in the works right now of coming up with the dates for information sessions. So if you like what you heard and you wanted to know more, you can also look on our website to see when those information sessions will be held. They will be virtual, of course. So if you'd like to be a part of that, just check back from time to time to see when that will be updated. And then again, if you wanted to take a virtual tour of the Chicago campus, you can set that up. And also you can have virtual appointments with counselors that are one-on-one. Instead of having to email and wait and go back and forth, you can set up a time to meet, and it'll just be you and a counselor talking about all of your desires or concerns that you may have about Roosevelt University. So we are here to help you pursue whatever career that you like that we have to offer. And we make ourselves available to help our students out. So if you are interested in what you're hearing, you can go ahead and email us so that we can get you in contact with the right counselor. Okay. So that is the end of my presentation. I'll be accepting questions at this time. So let me see, what questions do I have? Okay, I have a question. Someone has asked, are we able to transfer to a different campus after we complete our freshman year at Roosevelt University? And the answer is yes. Once you are no longer a freshman, as long as that location will have your major, you will be able to take classes at that location. But I didn't mention, but I do want to mention now since that question was brought up, all of our campuses do not have the same majors. The only campus that has every single major that we have on our website will be the Chicago campus. But again, you do have the option to take classes fully online. And if that doesn't work for some students, then yes, you come in person. But as of right now, I know that the Peoria campus has only business, but we are in the process of seeing how we can expand our programs at our other campuses. So that was a good question. Thank you. Okay, another student has asked, are there any grants or financial aid relief for housing? That's a good question. I didn't mention that housing is not a part of our tuition, so it will be at a separate price. But we do have housing grants for students who need the assistance. So there is money that is there for you to be able to afford housing on campus, but that would just depend on your EFC. So I wouldn't be able to say what specific amount we have, but once you fill out your FAFSA, and if you put us on your FAFSA, then you can, we'll be able to determine how much money we can give you for housing. Thank you. Another good question. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, I have another question. What is the FAFSA code for Roosevelt University? So when FAFSA asks you to input the school code, our code would be 001749. Again, that is 001749. So if you are trying to submit your FAFSA and you're trying to add your schools and you wanted to add us, you could submit that school code and we will be added to your FAFSA and you will receive all of your financial aid information, which is really good for us so that we can get you a most accurate financial aid plan for your Roosevelt University journey. Good question. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today at our virtual college exploration with Roosevelt University. After this webinar completes, you will see a quick survey pop up. So you'll have 4 questions, and if you can fill it out, we would really appreciate it. Again, you can sign up for more sessions through the IACAC website, the iacac.org. And just as a reminder that this recording will be available also at the iacac.org website. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.